Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome to another unofficial H3 waiting room stream. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I feel like when you're a kid and you're going to school and you miss a day, and there was like a fight, and a teacher got arrested, and a bunch of stuff happened. That's how I feel right now. So we have a whole lot to talk about. All from one video, I'm telling you. The content just keeps coming. But I do have a couple Instagram posts to start with first to keep our energy high. Don't want to start with anything too aggressive. So, I have one question for you. How old would you guess this kid is? Maturing is realizing that this is healthier than chicken and rice. Now, maybe this will change your opinion. How old do you think he is now? No, can't lie. What if I told you he's actually 18 years old, or at least says he's 18 years old, so there's that. I don't know if I believe him, but he eats steak and drinks raw milk. He's called the raw milk kid. What a guy. Proof I'm 18. I mean, he proved it. Where is he from? Let's okay, he blurred out all the right stuff. What a smart kid. But we move on to Rick Strongback. I've been trying to find more, internet celebrities in the making. And Rick Strongback is definitely one of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babes and...
What happened, Rick? Crazy moose number in this video. That's kind of insane. Can't watch that one. The skirt hid the package there.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Rick Strongback, and welcome to Transgender Day of Visibility, where no matter where you are at in your transition or how you present, if you are transgender, you are valued.
Get it, Rick. But we're moving quickly on. See, I want to get into it. I honestly thought the kid was like 13 when I first saw him, but then I saw him driving a car and I went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I don't know when he posted his ID. That's pretty funny though. It's fake. He's lying to us. But this is John Gay Music. He only has 424 followers. A very underground artist here.
My name is John Gay. After getting sick...
What is happening?
John Gay. After getting saved while serving a 9-year sentence for growing marijuana, I got out and recorded 12 songs about that turbulent part of my life. A part of my life when I felt like hope was my foe. This next song comes out May 2nd and it's called When the Sign. Check it out.
Just keep on going. See, my life got darker on the 7-mile marker. I was high on I-94, and the sound of a flash grenade, it was high up kicking in the door.
The thing that I found very peculiar, maybe impressive, was the fact that his beard, each strand, moves independently.
And the frosty barefoot walk to the walls I've never seen before.
It's pretty good stuff though. Keep on keeping on, John Gay. We love it. We love to see it. I don't know if anyone's seen this. Waymo Johnson, he said some stuff where I was like, okay, Waymo, you're pushing it. Don't push. But this was a pretty good one. I did like it. And this question here, someone needs to ask Mr. Kirk this one next.
Hi, Mr. Kirk. How's it going?
God damn it, I knew it was going to happen. because I preloaded these.
Hi, Mr. Kirk. How's it going? Waymo Johnson, student at University of Southern California. I'm studying politics right now. Hold up. You haven't been shy about speaking out against immigration. You've argued for strong border security, and I take it you're in support of Trump's current deportation efforts. Is that correct? Yeah? All right. With that being said, I have a little hypothetical for you, Charlie. If you don't mind me asking.
It's the longest wind-up ever.
Okay.
Been, so you gotta
All right. Would you rather your dad walk in on you fucking your dog? Or your dog? Wait. Would you rather that? Would you rather your dad walk in on you fucking your dog? Or your dog walk in on you fucking your dad?
Thank you. Again, this is USC's finest. Thank you so much.
I thought... Wait. You gotta be prepared to answer these hard-hitting questions, man. You're losing credibility.
Guys, speak loudly.
Come on. Hi.
Hey, come on. I thought we were for free speech here. This made me concerned when I first saw it. I guess it's better than where he was, but Lil Bro just needs some good parenting. He doesn't need Christ or whatever. But if Christ is helping, praise be the Lord or whatever. But check it out.
A while back, I used to be a different.
Oh my God! Every time I'm like getting a while back when I'm 9. When I was 8, a while back.
A while back, I used to be a different man. I used to vape.
What do you think this kid's favorite vape was? He looks like a blueberry man. That's my guess.
Drink, everything. Then my brother Caleb, he's been coming here for probably about a year now. And Caleb walks.
There's Kyle's standing off. He's the one who forced him to come here. He said, "I'm gonna tell mom you were fucking vaping unless you come speak to the church." They said I needed to bring people here.
In my room one night. It was a Tuesday night. He comes in. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "I just go to school, nothing." He says, "You should come to church with me." I said, "Okay." So next morning, and I came here, and it was a testimony about just giving it all to God, and it was talking about addictions and everything. And I felt like that. I felt like God sent Caleb almost as a saint.
Caleb Hammer is really just standing off to the side. Got his hands over his little brother right now.
And so I'm just thankful for my brother Luke.
Wait, what? Was it Luke or Caleb?
A while back.
And then to finish it off, we have our man, Matthew Smith, a modern titan, a monster among men, lifting casually 570, one in the tank. Oh my God, let's just restart it before it even has the chance.
We're gonna do 1 rep, 570. Let's get one in the tank.
One in tank.
Tank.
Don't want to distract him during his lift.
Okay. We're gonna do.
It was casual. It sounded like he was going to pass out at the end. But that's our man Matthew. Go check him out for some crazy lifts. True strongman feats of strength. This was also interesting. 50 Cent posted this 17 hours ago about Ryan Kavanaugh because I'm assuming it's because their movie still isn't coming out. I looked it up. This article is from 2009, so he's posting old stuff. He's about to get a cease and desist from Ryan. Ryan Kavanaugh, top film financier, arrested for drunk driving. Then a picture of Ryan. Here he is, guys. He must be drunk right now, fucking with me. Top financier, get the fuck out of here. Real shit. I mean, you can't, with a face like this, a face only a mother could love, but only in part. Okay. So, that is all we have for Instagram. Let us get in to the actual story of the day. Content Cop H3. I started watching this basically when it came out on the podcast. I'm telling you, I feel like a kid. I feel like a kid that missed a day of school. So much happened. But I was watching once the podcast started, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? So I went over, I started watching the Content Cop a couple minutes, and I was like, oh, I got to a point and went, oh, I have to watch this on stream. I can't. And so I just like, I got little bits and pieces by jumping in and out between like 3 or 4 different streams of people watching. I didn't watch any parts like in full because I was just trying to see like little portions, little pieces. But we're gonna watch it in full now. Give you my full raw reaction. But I did have one clip that the reason that I stopped is because something pissed me off, and I was like, I know the clip that'll be the smoking gun, and I have it. So I'll bring that up when we get there. But let's start.
Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
fucking thing in our defense, like, actually Hila's not a baby killer. Actually accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
What we do here is go back.
See, being a former fan of iDubbbz, I was an edgy little shitbag during the time of iDubbbz and Leafy and all this stuff. So hearing this song almost like sleeper agent fucking wakes something up inside of me. But it's like you know that it's in like just from the start, you know that it's in bad faith just based on all the people that are in it. That alone tells you that this isn't going to be anything positive. The entire video was riddled with him making claim and just never showing any evidence of any of the claims. I mean, that's kind of what I'm assuming, but what I'm hoping is that he kind of just shows his ass. Because I knew it was going to be stupid. It's a whole lot of nothing. He's just going to pull from the people that have been saying this shit already. But what I'm hoping is that you can see that this is clearly just an attempt at him to try and take a side while acting altruistic. Because that's the way I'm perceiving this, is that it really does seem like he's trying to take the high road and say, I just care about you, man. I'm not trying to pick a lane. I don't need to be one-sided on this. And it's just ridiculous. So we'll see, I guess. Now here's the real question. Did he rent this just for this single, like, 1-minute clip? Or is this his winter cabin? Is he balling out after Creator Clash? The real questions. I do think this is crazy. Huh. I'm wondering if someone botted some likes, because I swear this was over 300 likes. Over 300k likes before, but it dropped back down. And I know YouTube will do some specialization to make sure that things are all right. I mean, the video's definitely getting brigaded. 4.5 million views. I think the content nuke has like 3 million or something.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hassan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's Content Nuke, and I'm not going to call.
I always bring up his sign when I see Hassan's stream, and he cut it out here. It's because he didn't want to look like he's showing off. He doesn't have it in the close-up.
Like context puke as I normally do, because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant.
I understand this is all meant to be ironic, and like I'm gonna try and stop pausing through this intro so we can actually get to the points, but what if we just called this this is the context slop? You see how stupid that sounds? Calling it a content nuke and content cop is already cringeworthy enough. You know what I mean? Just call it what it is.
Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything? How? Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
When I saw this bit in Papa Gut's stream, and I said it in his
Just
chat.
telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan.
She looks like a character from Mrs. Spider's, whatever, that Mrs. Spider show. Let me pull up.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up.
Since anyone?
Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's told you.
Rogan looks like a character from Mrs. Spider's Sunny Patch Friends. That is all.
Yummy, I love Sabra hummus.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Is this Hassan's personal mic?
Love Sabra hummus.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
You better buy him a new fucking pop filter, bro. Come on.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Oh, what? Did Sean DeBlack say something crazy to him or something? Why was that the only thing right there?
Wake up.
That was not nice. I wonder what he said.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
I wonder if he said something like what he said about people should do to Destiny. That was not nice. Okay. Third intro? Sort of.
All right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3 content cop. iDubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control.
Good job hedging your bets.
And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah.
Isn't Sargon of Akkad actually like a piece of shit too? I don't know.
Yeah, if I ever do that.
I know he's not relevant anymore, but I think he was at one point or something.
Gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
It's the same thing. It's the same issue that he had with Hassan. It's inaction. Hassan was inactive in trying to mitigate the issues brought upon by his chat. you know, people talking shit, people perpetuating lies, and then you weren't speaking out at people calling CPS on him. So yes, he might have swung first in terms of like, you know, saying something vocally, like publicly, but it's definitely clear that like it's coming from somewhere. It's not just a random attack.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff.
Never heard of him.
Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
You would say? Good. I mean, it's nice to hear your opinion. Nice to see that you don't want to take sides in this.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the dancing invented.
This was the part I stopped on, because this was the part that pissed me off, and this is my smoking gun. Here is a clip from 2017 when they talked about Hila being from Israel, what she went through in her childhood and what she has seen, and then their opinion on both Israel and Palestine, and the position that has never changed, that the leftists in America have a fucking weird skewed view and just want to call it apartheid instead of actually looking into like the fact that it has its own historical relevance. Like there's people, we'll get into it as we watch this clip, but this was like my part where I had to stop watching because I realized I need to talk about this on stream. So here's this clip.
For example, growing up, like if I wanted to go out or to go to a mall, my dad would be like, "Don't go. There's a lot of people there." Like if you go to a crowded place, it's a threat. It's a dangerous spot because there could be a suicide bomb there, or it's like what do you call it? It's an attraction for a terror attack.
Right. It's when you're in a crowd in Israel, you actually think like,
yeah,
this could be a little bit risky for me personally.
So then, move on to this part.
And then that happens for a while until Israel figures a way to like prevent it. Right. So when I was growing up, there was a lot of suicide bombs,
like in cafes and buses and stuff like that.
And then, like recently, it was stabbing. Like you could just be waiting for a bus, and then someone would just come and stab you on the street. And so but Israel is really crazy. They figure out ways to prevent this stuff. Like the stabbing was happening for a few months, and now it doesn't really happen so much. And I don't even know how. But they have like their secret ways.
Say what you will about the Israelis, man, but those guys are fucking innovative.
Yeah.
They're figure shit out there, man.
But people would like to criticize the army.
And it's these little statements or the things that get clipped out. Like things like that. They're like, what do you mean they're innovative? When they kill children, when they do that? Like, it's all just clip chimping, because this is the same clip where people say, oh, she went on a raid, and we'll get to that in a second. But
Israel needs to understand that it's a daily threat, that something needs to happen about it. It's not like we have a choice.
Do you find it ironic when there's these, when you talk about privilege, let's talk about someone who's going to UC Berkeley, paid by their parents, $200,000 tuition on campus protesting Israel. Do you find that ironic?
I do. When I lived in Israel, I used to criticize Israel a lot,
me too,
as an
actually.
Israeli and the army and a lot of stuff. But when we moved here and I started to go on Reddit and stuff like that, and just being more aware of like the online criticism and there's
not just online, but
it's not just online. Yeah, I just became more aware of like the criticism here of Israel and in general around the world, and it's really, I personally think it's so ironic. It's just like, I don't know, it's kids sitting here in like beautiful California criticizing, like you don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's easy to reduce. It's funny because, like you said, when you're in Israel, you're super critical of the government. You're like, dude, you're expanding the West Bank. That's bullshit. You know, the government is turning off water and Gaza doing weird shit to control.
In 2017.
make land grabs and stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff is like, yo, what are you guys doing? But when you come to
talking about how it's wrong, how it's bad,
Israel, and then what you hear is people criticizing national security and calling Israel like apartheid, and that they shouldn't have fences, or that Israel should be.
You mean when you come here and you're here?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like let's say less specific criticism, and more general, like they built a wall and Israel should be a one state with Palestinians and Israel's all living together. They should reduce the borders and remove the gate.
Him promoting him saying that he is in support of a two-state solution, some kind of like it's all just consistency.
That to me seems like super ignorant.
It is, because when I grew up, I couldn't really take a bus. I was afraid of blowing up.
Right.
And now it doesn't really happen. So the wall did help. So should we
Can
not
you
have a
explain-
wall?
Can you explain?
And then they talk about the wall here for a second, but it's just so. I'm trying to remember if there was something else I needed to see from this clip
About the
as we're
wall,
gonna move
we don't know
forward.
about it.
I don't know like how to explain it.
I guess simply
'cause
it's like
it was built to prevent this attacks, and there's.
But yes, obviously there are issues. There are things that Israel are doing wrong. And then one part that people love to clip out of context from this is they talk about Elah going on a raid. So they talk about this at 23 minutes and 28 seconds.
And so I always saw them preparing for it and leaving, and then I would stay in the base. So one
So
time
she's talking about her time as a secretary.
I wanted to go with them just to experience it.
why you just were all of a sudden had an urge to go with them.
I just wanted to see what it's like.
Right.
I wanted to see it.
Okay.
So they took me with them one night, even though they weren't supposed to.
Did they armor your ass up?
You're driving in this like jeep that's bulletproof.
Right.
So I was in the jeep, and then as soon as we entered Ramallah, the people in the city started shooting us.
Wow.
And I heard like a bullet hit the jeep like right next to my head.
Did it like dent or just
No,
you
you just hear it.
It's a gnarly armored jeep. Okay.
And I mean, it was just interesting.
They were So someone actually was shooting the car when you went in there right away.
Yeah.
Huh? Did you have a gun on you?
I didn't.
You were not supposed to leave.
No, yeah, not really. But even if I mean, I walked with them to one house.
Okay.
I did get out of the car once, but surrounded with them. So.
Okay. Did they arrest anyone that night?
They did.
Did they bring it in the same car with you?
No.
Oh,
You
different
go.
car.
There's a
People talk about this where they say, oh, he says it when talking about Palestinians. He's referring to them being a terrorist, being someone that was being arrested.
few cars going.
Damn, that's crazy. Was it like? How did you feel? Was it horrifying?
It was strange. Very, very weird.
How so? Like how so?
I don't know. Just you see people in the house, and then it's like the soldiers just walk into the house and look through their shit and find guns, and the whole thing is really surreal.
They just do they knock or they just like kick down a door and charge in?
I didn't really see that whole. I don't know exactly how that was.
Does it feel like a normal neighborhood, or does it feel like, oh, this is scary?
No, it actually looked like a nice city.
That's strange. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
from their perspective, well, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
From their perspective, it's like, fuck these guys.
But they go specifically to people who they know are terrorists, and they have a history of.
Like they said, they were in a place where they were literally getting shot at as they went in. They arrested someone that they found had guns. She says that they have a history of terrorism or like
that stuff, and they know they have guns.
Right. Even if that's true, it's hard if you're that guy's neighbor not to be like, I hate these fucks.
And then Ethan even stands up for the plight of the Palestinian in this moment, saying it's easy then for the other surrounding Palestinians who aren't terrorists to look at just their neighbors getting arrested, you know, in the night or whatever, just the IDF coming in an armored tank, in an armored truck, and, you know, kicking in a door and arresting their neighbor. Obviously, they're going to look poorly on those Israeli people. Even in 2017, making it clear that he has a, you know, like...
And I'm scared of them coming to my house someday. Even
It's
though I'm not
nuanced.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. That shit's heavy. Did any of your family members, I mean, all your family members served in the military.
So then they talk about her family being in the military and so on and so forth. She doesn't tell any stories or anything. But this took me about 30 minutes to find. So we can basically know 5 minutes into this that this is made entirely in bad faith. When he wants to pull a 2019 clip of Ethan dancing when they lived in Israel. They experienced life in Israel. They have no, you know what I mean? It's like obviously not everyone's going to know every little political detail, but clearly they have at least some understanding because it's such a small country. Like you're going to be a little bit more keyed in. But let's continue on with the video. That was my point when I stopped, so I haven't seen hardly any of the rest of this. I saw little bits and pieces as I was jumping into chats of other people.
So kick ass.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that that may be a war crime. It literally is.
It's just eating the toppings. And the pizza looked like a burned.
And honestly, the first one was a little more credible than him just reading an article or talking about some shit. I mean, I kind of don't care.
Victim. It was all disgusting.
Him actually having a conversation on like a news show or something means a little bit more to me. Them talking about it on the podcast also, like, who cares? This is kind of just a non-starter, to be honest. Who cares how much they know, how long ago they've been looking into this conflict?
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know? We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has, you know, adopted over the
I forget what, I was watching Loner Box at one point. He was talking about that and said the actual, like, translation into Arabic or whatever, maybe not Arabic, whatever language it is, and says that it's more directly talking about a destruction of Israel entirely. But even so, who cares? It's an opinion.
years, they're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers, he's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that. When you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist.
I also like, what does any of this have to do with the shit he was like having a problem with you about? He was having a problem with you because you didn't stand up for him in like against the people who want to call CPS and think that it's okay to call CPS on random people that they see on the internet. Like, what?
It's like crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
Yeah. And again, this purity test of, do you consider it apartheid or do you consider it genocide? We can agree that the conditions that they are living under are like causing death, in mass, regardless of if you want to call it genocide or call it apartheid. Honestly, I feel like maybe there's going to become new terms that they consider, because apartheid in South Africa has its own historical weight and its own historical significance. So just like equating everything kind of negates from the actual like plight of the different groups involved. Like, I don't know. It's just, who cares if one person doesn't agree entirely if it's exactly the same as South African apartheid. I don't know. That point is just one thing that I think gets brought up a lot that I don't understand, because we can all agree that it's conditions that are bad that need to be changed.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth.
And that clip too, oh my god, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but like, they've walked that back how many times? Do you want us to keep talking about how you said the N-word, F-word over and over again? You've apologized for that. They said that was a bad take and they didn't know who Gallant was really. They aren't as keyed in on every figure in Israel's military.
Forth with his liberal audience, leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hassan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb. Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits. And everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no?
No,
did I not go there?
Oh, what? When he called her a bitch and because she said that those women that were raped were lying? Indirectly, but that was kind of the implication that she made.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story. In Ethan burning bridges with people
I need
until
the I need the
he burned
extension.
the bridge with me.
I'm pausing
Since
too
Ethan
much.
and Hassan's falling out,
It's just everything.
I've been
It's just
keeping
so-
to myself mostly. I
Every
don't have
sentence.
many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. And also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess
But you like what he's saying, okay.
I just miss my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that
Yeah, I'll just start going frame by frame. Yeah, no, here's the thing. I don't think people should go and just go to dislike it, go on every single account they have to dislike it. I'm going to dislike it because I think it's a bad video. I've made my arguments 10 minutes in, and I think this video is just bad. But just going there and brigading it with dislikes isn't the proper way to do it because, I mean, they'll probably get removed eventually. YouTube's pretty quick. They're slick about what they do.
Brings us to February 28th of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that iDubbbz's former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem.
Why would that be the question? If it's real things, why would the question be, where did you learn about this? What?
If Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his
scrolling on Reddit, he's not on Twitter anymore, thank you very much.
Employees feel the need to send him this information, and that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place?
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if it's a fucking like piece of shit person who's like, I just want Ethan to become crazy. I'm going to post all the things of people talking shit about him. Who cares? If it's real stuff, then Ethan should probably see it. If it's stuff that's happening, things that are in relation to you, that you say you see some of the things and you agree with them in part, but you're not going to like it or going to repost it because you don't want to take a side. Like, you're just fucking being a little bitch, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but like all you're saying is, why don't you just roll over? Why don't you just let people do whatever they want? Roll over like I do. It's so dumb.
If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up.
Can you say it in not such like a little fucking sarcastic little, bitchy tone? I probably shouldn't say that so much. This video is gonna get like age restricted or something because I'm cursing too much. But like, why are you taking such like a little snarky little, oh yeah, my editor was really rude to you. Does that make you feel better? Like, bro, The thing is about who do you side with? It's clear who you side with. So why don't you be more vocal about it from the beginning instead of being a little bitch and hiding behind like other things? Stop being a pussy.
Towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the 2 podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
No, it's entirely condescending. That's like the tone is. This video so far has just felt so condescending.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit, and that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz's feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck?
You just said that you fucking agree with Froggy Tonic's posts sometimes. So you just told us what's on your feed.
What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists.
Well, now we do know. So our assumptions were correct.
Well, you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not going to throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing
He does have the CTE taking over. I saw a clip on Reddit. Oh, I need to see if I can find it. But it was a clip of him and Anissa talking to Ethan, and Ethan saying like, "You shouldn't fight anymore. The CTE is gonna get to you." And Anissa's like, he hasn't had any brain issues. Do you think they happen like right after the fight? CTE can happen like 20 years later, and all of a sudden he's like the one dude who killed his entire family from the WWE.
Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you.
I one time put on a helmet and ran headfirst into a tree. I probably have some CTE. I'd believe it. I stammer and stutter all the time.
For the things that you've said and done, and I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Is having a public androgynous meltdown a side effect of CTE? I mean, it's basically poor emotional management, right? So that would be a side effect of CTE. He can't regulate his thoughts properly. Everything in this seems a bit disjointed. All the clips are like 2 seconds.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I probably done and stood by iDubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because
the difference between you and Ethan, Ian, is that Ethan realizes the overcorrection. You go too far one way, and then you push the dial back, and you start going too far the other way. So you have to come somewhere back in the middle. The issue is that you've gone too far to this extreme now, where you're fine with hiding behind maybe these are your principles, but it's still cowardice that you're not going to be able to publicly espouse them because you're like, I don't know, afraid of any kind of public backlash.
It makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment. And I
Do you think it's as condescending as this video has been?
essentially empathize with that. And I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going...
The fuck are you? That's not what a halfway friend is. Bro, his brain is actually rotted. What are you talking about? A halfway friend is somebody who isn't willing to publicly espouse or like to talk poorly about people that they like and talk up the people that they... I'm fucking like spazzing out. I said that completely wrong. But you get what I'm saying. A halfway friend is someone that isn't going to fully support their friend. Someone that is going to allow other people in their circle to talk shit on the person that's their friend. That actually like fucking threw me off. Sorry, that completely... It's contagious. Whatever he has, it's fucking contagious, and I'm catching it by watching this. Are you friends with these people? Do you know these people? Or was he just your editor? Because if they're your friends, then say that. Be like, well, I'm closer with these people, so of course I'm going to side with them. Because that's fine too. But actually take a fucking stance. Don't just be like, oh, well, I'm not trying to pick a side. So I'm just going to make a video with all the people that have talked shit about you for, quite a while now.
going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream...
What was the point of saying that? Wouldn't that imply that it should be easier for you to then say that that person is a piece of shit and does... What?
Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just, like, disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like, of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything
and
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn of Satan?
Wait, isn't this... Isn't this him showing what Ethan doing, what he was supposed to do? Somebody that he was critical of Ethan at one point, but at one point he was like very favorable of Ethan. But Ethan's willing to talk shit about him because he actually has a stance. He has a perspective. Am I misinterpreting the point he's trying to make here? Ethan isn't going to stand by somebody because, like, what? Even though he dislikes Trisha, like... dislikes, whatever the case may be. But you understand what I'm saying.
Disgusting.
And
a piece of shit of a human.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. It's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm.
Oh, because he didn't... The difference is that they weren't, like, friends with Trisha at the time. Trisha wasn't coming to them being like, hey, would you do this? And he asked you, And you basically said no.
Enthusiasm
If
for
that's
you to
the point you're trying to make.
get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint.
It's almost, yes, it's an identical situation, but the outcomes were different because at this point you would be supporting Adam McIntyre and calling the baby Satan. That's what this would be. It's the difference in paths, but they are similar situations. This is so dumb.
Themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some
Because it's his employee. You're his friend. Making his employee make a statement would probably violate some kind of like laws. I don't even know. That would definitely be a very like weird thing to make your employee do, is make a public statement. You were supposed to be his friend. So, and again, you could be like, we're not that close of friends, dude. I didn't like think we were that close. We made videos together. We did some stuff. I came to your house a few times, but we were never close like that. If that's the perspective you have, but that's not what you're saying.
fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay?
Dude, my head's
Olivia
gonna
did not
explode
do
before the end of
anything.
this.
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia.
You are a fucking internet celebrity with 7 million subscribers. You just dropped the video that got 4.5 million views. He's talking about his employee that he hired, that was a fan of the fucking show, that was like, you know what I mean, that has a minuscule internet presence. It is like not even comparable to be like, oh, why are you expecting it out of me if you don't fucking, if you're not asking Uncle Gabe to fucking unfollow people, dog, why are you even asking me?
Yeah. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's...
No, and you're supposed to do what your whole like point of this video was. Just fucking roll over. I'll let it happen.
Segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh, yeah. And our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because, like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it...
I think Gabe did talk about the Palestine-Israel conflict at one point. I feel like he said he was just like, we just want peace in the Middle East. It's true. All we want is peace.
Later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming.
Okay, and all Hila knows is the propaganda, so she is just propagating the propaganda, is the point you're making. She's half Irish, half Lebanese. Where was she born?
Out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians.
Oh, born and raised in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Her surname is Jumma, which was localized to Joma upon immigrating to Canada. She is of mixed ancestry, having Lebanese heritage from her father's side and Irish heritage from her mother's side. Her father was a refugee from Lebanon, and fled to Canada due to the Civil War. Okay, but she was so yes, she might have some understanding because her father was involved. So okay, she might have some historical understanding. But to act like she would even have like the same like even as close of a connection to it as Hila, who has lived in Israel, and Ethan by proxy, who lived there for however many years,
are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean,
Like,
just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about an.
I mean, is that so wrong? I've been saying this for a while now, that people need to realize, how can you like go after, how can you be like a productive army, a productive militarized force, if you can't even like correct each other? If you can't be like, hey bro, you probably saying that isn't cool, and stay friends with them. Stay pals, stay buddies, but check your fucking friend and let them know, hey man, you talking this way about this person isn't cool. That's called like bridging the gap. That's called you being the fucking handing the olive branch over. And not being like a cowardly little fuck who's gonna be like, oh, well, I'm just not picking a side because I want to follow everybody at the end of the day. Like, I get it, you don't have to say anything. But he asked you. So you could have just told him, like, hey man, I don't want to say anything publicly. I understand that, but understand that it does make you a coward. And making this video proves how much of a coward you really are. Because people weren't coming for you like that. Nobody really cared. And if they were, that's you exactly like fucking showing the thing you're criticizing Ethan of like fucking focusing in on the little things that don't matter. Oh, the few comments that people are making on your podcast or whatever are such a big deal. I thought they don't matter. I thought those comments weren't a big deal.
Nisa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So
the problem.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
Well, here's my perspective, right? Is Steiny could be seen as a similar thing where you could say, oh, he gave Steiny the pass. Why does Steiny get to hang out with Andrew Tate? He should cut Steiny off. But at least Steiny took a fucking like stance. At least he was like, oh, well, this is my perspective. This is what I think, and I'm willing to vocalize that and make that clear. I'll come on your show and talk about it. Not, let's talk behind the scenes so I can fucking stroke my own ego and try and make you feel better about this, about people that are talking shit about you. He like, at least Steiny's going like, hey man, I don't know that much about all these criminal cases, whatever. He's my friend, he's my buddy. Yeah, it's a stupid answer. It's dumb. But at least he's like has the balls to say it. And that's like the thing that I'm most like just annoyed about, that you had to wait until you could do this and have the backing of all these people that were already talking shit about Ethan to come out and say something.
Her dad,
yeah,
which I'll show. Denims is actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, where we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that
Then why didn't you make that clear then? Why did you try and make it the stance of, well, maybe you need to listen to what they have to say when they're saying that people should call CPS on you? Why is that the perspective you're making instead of going, hey man, I'm friends with everybody. I don't know why you think we're closer to you than we are.
Good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people? Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet
Alex,
clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of...
The fact that he pulled stuff from the H3 lore website is just so, like, he did like a bit of research, a bit of like looking into stuff, but in the most odd way.
Kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking... You're either my best friend who's deep-throating...
Exactly, bro, but make a fucking... Have a stance. Don't just be like, oh, well, I don't want to get in the middle of it. And again, if Andrew Tate said something like, oh, people need to fucking call CPS and do this, and he told that to Steiny, I bet Steiny would be like, oh yeah, man, I'll never talk to him again. He already said that he probably wouldn't talk to Andrew Tate again. He said that. I don't know if it's true. We'll see. He probably had him on the podcast again since. But still, it's just like, why are you just like doing whataboutisms? What about all these other people? What about all these other people? Either provide an explanation as to why it's okay, or just shut up.
Me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But
like, this is... Why do you have to use like such hyperbole for this video? Isn't that like one of the criticisms you're making? Is that Ethan is making a fucking mountain out of a molehill? But now you're gonna say he's a villain? Let's listen to it again. I need to hear that.
The conversation, I have no problem. I don't care about this guy. I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
That's not him being, oh, you should... Have you ever thought about then dropping him completely? If he means nothing to you, then why even quander upon unfollowing him? Don't you kneel before the king? He's clearly just pointing out, oh, if it doesn't matter to you, then why is this even a question right now? It's pointing out the fucking ridiculous hypocrisy in it. To go, well, I want to follow him, but he doesn't mean anything to me. What? Who cares?
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so...
It's because that's pussyfooting around it, Ian. Nobody's saying, oh, you need to keep saying more and more. You need to keep saying more and more. Actually denounce what they're saying, or say that it's okay, or say you agree with them. Or, you know what I mean? Like, actually have a stance. Don't just go, oh, well, we don't talk to them. Yo, bro, Denims keeps fucking saying that people need to call CPS on my family, bro. Isn't that crazy? I've never been on a stream with Denims. Never said you did. It's kind of like we're wondering your perspective on this whole thing.
Quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys...
Then why don't you just clarify who? That is funny that they have like the same color scheme. But you know what would totally clear it up? You creating a post clarifying, hey, this person isn't this person. We're seeing this misinformation getting spread, and we want to make it clear that we feel this way about this, and that these people have nothing to do with each other, and you all thinking that is showing the parasocial nature of this whole, dilemma. Come on, guys.
You guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying, and we support Ethan and...
More condescension.
Mila, sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship.
That's not what your silence means. Oh my God. I guess, yes, that is what your silence means. Your silence means that you are siding with the opposition. In asking you to do something and you saying, well, we don't work with them. Well, maybe they have a point. And then basically leaving it at that. Well, maybe we should talk on the phone so we can explain why they're right. And then leaving it at that, yes, that does say something. But I don't think you realize how poorly that speaks about you.
Until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now. But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story.
Fuck you, you piece of shit, and fuck my friends too, who I have stood by all these years, who now can't find their spine. I don't need any fair weather friends. Where's your name in this? Did this just speak to you? Is that the issue? This kind of just spoke to your soul?
Story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets...
Did they even ever pull up your podcast? What's their podcast even called?
It's 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not do harassment campaigns and instead talk about
What? My podcast only gets 2,000 to 3,000 views because I like to keep it niche. I only get low views because I don't like to be in the public eye. Good little humble brag there, bro. Being like, what do you mean? It's not I just like to be, low key about things. You mean you're boring and nobody wants to watch your podcast? Vampire's Kiss is the best. You're giving like a movie review? Maybe people love this movie. I'm sure more people went to go see the movie than 2,000. So maybe your commentary on it just wasn't very good.
Vampire's Kiss.
Like they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I.
Or if you're just talking about vampires kissing in general, that's stupid. And yeah, no wonder it only got 2,000 views.
Disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like,
you roll over for everybody else, so it's kind of the assumption, You're basically a dog on your back going, but the one time Ethan, took a nip at you, you decided to pop back up.
This is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fuck.
We don't support harassment. Fuck, where was I? Oh no.
Think that she's a good person. Like, it's like kind of an internet friendship level.
Wait,
Not
fuck.
definitely. You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit.
I went too far.
It's
Or I went too
clearly
far
looking
back. Where
out
the fuck
for
was
them.
I?
Now I'm not
so
going to sugar the
stupid.
base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I
Where the
ever
fuck
talked
was
about
I? I'm
it.
so
He's
stupid.
like,
Was it
I don't care about
25,
this guy.
15?
He's
That
an
must
I'm
have
gonna
been what it
fucking
was.
sit on my hands when
Yes.
you do this shit.
My bad.
Like, this is nasty.
No more skipping
We
around.
had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people.
So you're saying that when Ethan talks poorly about people, their friends and the people in their circles will stick up for the people that Ethan's talking poorly about? Huh. No.
Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more.
Remember how you didn't go on the podcast for years until all of a sudden you were getting a bunch of hate because your wife has an OnlyFans? Remember how you decided to go on because they were sticking up for you and talked about how it was bad that people were saying stuff about you like that? Calling you a cuck and saying all this shit? Interesting.
More fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so
And just more whataboutisms. Who gives a shit?
Bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say...
That's exactly what podcasts are. Podcasts are like open form, like free form conversation, like most of the time. Most podcasts aren't like a scripted fucking narrative or something. It's free form, off the cuff, happenings, like a radio show or something. That's exactly what podcasts are.
Say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people.
Hedging more bets, saying that, well, this is clearly for a reason. I'm not doing this because I'm just angry. I'm doing this for a purpose.
Who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist.
Mm-hmm.
Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you?
I mean, it's like the most. Yeah, that is such a fucking true statement. What is the issue with that? There are so many people in life that'll be okay with their friend saying a racist comment or saying some dumb shit, and they'll just sweep it under the rug because they're like, well, they're not like that all the time. Kyle's not a bad guy. You should be calling him out for being a shitbag. You don't have to stop being his friend, but the whole thing is about correcting the people around you, creating a unification, not just being like, well, we all have our own beliefs, but we just keep them to ourselves.
I don't do drama.
How much do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes.
So it's unjustified, just not completely unjustified.
You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for some.
This is a pot calling the kettle black right now.
Something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting.
This is literally what he was asking you to do about them wanting to call CPS on his family. If he doesn't talk about that at all in this fucking video, he is actually a shitbag, because that was the thing that he was asking you to talk about. And just the fact that fucking Hassan promotes terrorism. Sorry, he doesn't promote terrorism. He perpetuates terroristic values and ideas and promotes them as the only way to uplift the disenfranchised in the Middle East. Insane. Be against jihadists. Don't kill for your beliefs. Die for them. That is what you were supposed to do as a martyr.
People.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, marching by his side.
Wait.
Civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
March.
Just saying because he's white, the analogy doesn't hold up is stupid, because you yourself pointed out that Irish people were disenfranchised and fucking hurt by are you... Everything you fucking say is just actually so disconnected from the previous thoughts. Like, you're dumb. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so vulgar, but that made no sense.
With the black
Who cares if he isn't black? That's why it's called an analogy.
And
why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to Hassan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hassan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends with these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our kid
I'll show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry, I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the ground.
Wait, what?
Denims is streaming this story about our kid
I'll show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this take, this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving.
So he's trying to say that he doesn't care because they fucking talk shit about people? They're not perpetuating lies, they are giving opinions. You can say somebody's a piece of shit. You can say Ethan looks like he's so ugly and he probably smells bad. But saying a fucking lie and saying that it's grounds for people to call CPS is nowhere near the fucking same. What?
Your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right?
It's what everybody does on the internet. It's what Hassan does. It's what Ethan does. It's what literally the whole political side of the internet. Anybody that isn't just doing a news show and like reading off like articles and stuff. Any streamer is doing like political theater. It's like it is not an actual like look into political thought and political philosophy. Like it is just drama. It is political theater. It is not.
It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be.
It is just shitting on people, talking about like random stuff, really just bringing up ideas to try and almost use fallacies to bring up why your ideas are right. That is like the whole like political sphere of the streaming world. And Hassan, Ethan, I feel like everybody does do it, but the whole thing is about how much are you actually doing it. If your whole show is about politics, you should probably be more factual. This is a comedy show, and I'd say everything Ethan says is opinion based, honestly. The only facts he gives are for things where it's just like reading an article or whatever. Some of the things that he has he has shown some lies. There are some things that he's shown that weren't true, but then they've very quickly cleared it up, and he's willing to talk about his mistakes, which all of these other people have not been able to deal with. If you make a mistake, just say, "Oh, I made a mistake," and then you can move on. If not, it's literally kept this going for however long this has been going. Like months and months and months.
Which kind of, and by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, "Hey, their house is clean. They're actually good people." Like that's gonna get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids,
then why
Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is.
Mm-hmm.
No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's.
So you're just saying you don't care that people are perpetuating lies about someone that you would call a light friend. Okay, that's your stance. In the video there.
Why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit...
See, I know that he's trying to frame it as not about CPS, but that's why I just keep talking about it in the grounds of CPS. Like, you don't care that people are calling CPS? What is your stance? Nobody knows your stance because you're not fucking giving one. That's the whole issue. Is that, yes, your inaction says a lot. You said it in the beginning. Your saying nothing speaks volumes.
Bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles. Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, more...
Here's the thing. I would honestly say that all the people that are following the show, that are part of the show, probably shouldn't be following these people. But I also understand following people that, you know, you almost are like hate watching. You're trying to keep up with what they're saying. So I don't know the reason that they're following them. Who knows? But the whole thing is that they asked you specifically for a reason. Stop bringing up all these fucking whataboutisms. What about love? What about Morgan Pie?
Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, daily dose of internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here? Asmongold follows Frogan? No, Asmon. That means you're
He was surprised so many, popular people actually follow Frogan.
anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're gonna want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You gotta be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hassan, that just makes sense.
This is like a fucking schizo post, bro. We just entered schizogram. Like, this is the and I don't mean to be derogatory to our schizophrenic brothers and sisters, but like, bro, what are you talking about right now? Hassan provides additional value. And plus, like, we saw, like, Jeff was on Hassan's stream, and Jeff was like, made a joke about, like, oh, you want me to pick sides? Made a joke like that. So we know where Jeff stands. And like, I don't know, it's just so weird. Everything he's saying is just so weird.
Because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hassan on Instagram, so Hassan is in his feed.
And when was this ever about following? When was that like ever the question? Ethan's also said that he doesn't unfollow people because he finds that to be like a ridiculous, childish thing to be like, I'm gonna unfollow you on Instagram. Because why would you unfollow somebody for, like, who cares? Literally, who cares? But then it's just so, like, that was never the point, that you follow people. It's that you clearly don't care about what they're saying about Ethan. They've talked about it on the show, and the crew has made it clear that they think that it's ridiculous that anybody would ever promote calling CPS on Ethan. It's so insane.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz's feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day.
Shonda Black should be not on the list because we still barely know who he is.
You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan. But Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence.
They talked about this on the show. They talked about this and Ethan posted about Theo Von on. This is just proving that Ian just has never, like, barely watched any of this. He has not kept up with anything.
Coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hassan? It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward.
And, bro, it's just completely... You were considered a friend. Stavros was somebody that he had on the podcast. Jeff has become more of a friend recently, and I'm sure he texted Jeff about it. I think Jeff texted him about, or something. Theo Von they talked about. I don't even know who the fuck who's this? Who is this guy?
I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's gonna keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We could talk about Bill Burr, ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks your content nuke,
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
you don't fire back because you're
Who knows if anyone's even seen that? Nope. I didn't see that clip. And that is kind of stupid that Stavros would say that, because Stavros is just some fucking dumb fat comedian. I'm just saying he's fat because that's part of his character. It's part of who he is. I don't mean it derogatorily. But I'm just saying, like, who cares if Stavros, like, they're not friends. They're not, like, close pals. And the fact that Stavros even saw the video is kind of interesting to me.
hoping. So you're just going to tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream.
And this is exactly that moment of what you were saying in the beginning. How do you know what's on their feed? How do you know they've ever seen this clip of Stavros? And I've literally never seen that. And I'm in the Reddit. I'm on Instagram. I'm like, I don't know, bro. It's just a weird, another whataboutism. Is it wrong or is it not? Is it bad or is it good?
You're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although, he's sniffing around.
What are you talking about? He's called them out and said that they should do something. They're, again, just not friends. They're not pals and buddies where he's going to text them and be like, guys, what the fuck are you hiring Matt Lieb for? Like I've said this before, that in the world, there are racists. There are anti-Semites. There are these people that are really bad, but they aren't so vocal about it. They don't present it in their daily life. It's a belief that they hold. So even if they are saying it, they say it a little bit here, a little bit there, most jobs aren't going to fucking care. They're like, well, they come in on time. They come in on time. What am I supposed to do? They're a decent writer. We need them to write which is better, Coca-Cola or Pepsi. You think I can write that video on my own? So like, I understand that people are just going to not care. But the difference is that he saw you as a friend. You clearly didn't. That's all we needed to hear, bro.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed a fucking...
He put in a video game thing to make it seem like Ethan was saying like, he never actually said that. When what he means is Bad Empanada played a video game where he went around going, where you're supposed to be a Palestinian resistance fighter going around killing Israelis, and he was going, where's the secretaries at? Where are the secretaries? What's the point of this game? It's like I'm just running around killing people for no reason. You don't say.
Basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these...
Where'd you see the R word? Who said the R word? Don't say the R word, guys. It's bad. Hey, I think honestly saying bad things to anybody is bad, you know? But if you don't like it, then leave and unsubscribe.
Other creators that...
We probably shouldn't be talking shit about anybody. But who said Stavros was an adversary either? That's kind of a weird perspective to have.
He's gone out of his way to attack. He thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
He just pulled this from the lore site. Not literally. Anywho.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But shit. Like, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I don't like pedophile. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
That was fine. Yeah, I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal. Of all the things that it always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy.
Oh, and I have a question for the person who said that I let people say the R word. Do you think it's better that Hassan calls people neurodivergent? Because I feel like that's probably worse, right? Because the whole thing is idiot, stupid. Those used to be IQ terms. They used to be considered medical terms for intelligence. So using the word retarded is wrong, and it is becoming more popular now. But honestly, I think it would probably be worse to start using the actual term to denigrate autistic people. So the button is canceled. Here's what the thought is if the button is used, we have to just assume that he just basically said the N-word for the extension of the period that it was blocked out. He just said it repeatedly over and over again.
Controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Ela were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay.
You
what? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps a country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big.
Yeah, see, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty funny though. One time, my dad said something crazy. He just let let a slur slip while we were driving. It was some shit I'd never heard before. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Holy shit!" He wasn't even trying. I don't even think it was it wasn't even like to anybody. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" No, but what Ian said to Tana Mojo, Ian wishes that he had a button for his entire life. He wishes he could button like his whole internet career.
I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what you did.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
Well, you are goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look.
Basically, I'll explain real quick. iDubbbz went to a Tana Mojo meet and greet and said the N-word to her because there's an old clip of Tana saying the N-word with the hard R. And here's the thing. iDubbbz used the old perspective of like, what I think I've said this before, that in a courtroom setting, right, it makes sense for someone to actually use the N-word or use another slur because they're trying to invoke the actual like veracity of the thing that they're saying. But then what he did was invoke the veracity of the thing over and over and over and over again for shock value, which is why it was wrong. In a courtroom setting or in something where they're like, this person said XYZ, they're showing that this is the actual claim, as opposed to saying they said the N-word. It doesn't sound as harsh, but when you actually hear it spoken out, there's like more veracity to it. But that's beyond the point. We're moving on.
Look how many times you paused the
I'm trying,
video.
bro.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the
Yeah, Ethan didn't think before the button either. Yeah, you're right, because that's how the whole thing with Cutie Cinderella happened. Because he wasn't thinking.
idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew...
No, yeah, the whole Ian Tana thing was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was him trying to take power from the word, but it's like, you're not the person to do that, dude. But again, it's not even taking power from the word. I think that using it gives the word the power. That's the thing. Using it gives the word the power, but using it in a setting where you're explaining what somebody else said is you invoking the nature of the word to express the actual veracity of the situation, where he was using it just for the shock value because somebody else was saying it.
Has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay?
He's gonna have a whole section on the crew when he texted AB saying, I didn't want you to get in the middle of this. I'm sorry. I didn't want this to be a big deal. Rolling over again. Instead of just standing by it. Stop being... Ugh.
He did was abhorrent. And by the way...
Just don't. Listen,
we have a lot of people in here right now. I just want to say, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We do the H3 waiting room before every show. I wasn't here the other day because they were fixing my home smart stuff, my smart home stuff. But I'll be back on Monday and on Wednesday and on Friday and on Monday and on Wednesday and on Friday. So let's continue.
Your critique of her is correct. It's just, people are sensitive about women being called that word. And so...
Like, how pathetic are you? You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No,
and I'm not yelling at you. I'm just... Kelly is a black woman, right?
The thing is, I think when he uses the buttons in these moments with the crew, it's almost like a positive thing because it's him not wanting, because obviously you're going to have conflicts at work. There's going to be moments where he's not mad at them, but there's frustration in the flow of the show or the things that are happening, and him cutting away is almost to save them any embarrassment or himself any embarrassment from people criticizing the comments made.
Yes.
Maziel is a
Korean.
Thank you for stopping in.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I don't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POC. God.
And all these are so funny. Is this supposed to be bad?
Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
It's like Ethan says stuff that's off color. He's never actually the only time he said something bad was when he had Ian on the show. That's the only time he really went off the rails.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty.
So are you only going to play the clip that was on the stream that people heard, or are you going to play the thing they played the next stream, which showed the part that was actually cut out as well? Do you play the full context? Let's see.
It didn't have this caveat of I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
They get access to
We covered most of
We're
it.
doing it.
What
You're
are
making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday at the movies. Is it? You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand off the.
I also love this because was that supposed to be like a horrible thing? Because I remember when people were complaining about this, that was almost nothing. They feel like they're comfortable enough to speak to their boss and be like, well, here's our ideas, here's what we're thinking. And he is just having the executive decision to be able to say, no, that's not a good idea, or let's continue this, let's do that. I really don't understand why that was such a big deal. They honestly didn't even need to show the context.
What? Okay, well.
Heard all that.
Thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button me, dude.
He's saying it fucked him because it did actually cut out like the first 5 seconds or something of their conversation. There was a bit that was cut out.
Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
Like that's just such a, who cares if he said that? That's such like a nothing. What boss hasn't, like what like employee hasn't heard their boss be like, come on man, that was bad. You did a shit job today, or just something. Like everybody's heard stuff like that. Sometimes it sucks to hear, but I mean like he obviously cares about his employees quite a bit.
Hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that that was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up that
type
photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that. God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well, tell.
Well, you just asked how it changed
Surprise
things.
them on your show.
Okay, all right.
You know, I understand that that's his role.
And making a joke is apparently him being a bad boss. When again, you see the type of boss he is in the way that his employees speak to him. Dan feels comfortable being like, "Hey, bro, this isn't cool. I'm hitting the button because of this." Da da da. When AB he was like, "Well, what if we did this? What if we saved it till next week? What if we whatever?" Yeah, they might get a little shook sometimes because they're talking to their boss, but realistically, like they clearly feel like they have a voice, and it's not like them being fucking having to hide from their scary boss from Israel.
And he's,
From Santa
you know,
Cruz.
Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily, in the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, 2 Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nice.
He allows them input if they want input, and AB has said multiple times that he doesn't want to step on Ethan's feet on Ethan's show. He has his own stream where he talks about whatever he wants, and that is not in any way affected by Ethan's perspective. Ethan does not give any input on what AB's allowed to say. It's just stupid. Ethan's allowed to have his own perspective, and like you're saying he should roll over and not present his perspective on things to make sure that his employees are feeling happy from my perspective, not even from like their own perspective.
A lot nicer for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much.
And that was like a misspeak where Hezbollah helped whatever in Syria. And fuck, I forget the whole thing. Hezbollah did have involvement in killing a lot of Arabs. That was the point he was trying to make, but it was definitely a misspeak because Hezbollah themselves did not.
All right, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play Hassan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change.
Bro really got chip clipped this whole time.
And he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty...
Recently? When was the last time they used this set and when was this look? My guess is 2 years, at least. This is the debut of a brand new mode.
Good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to one too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
What makes Demon mode different than Goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Lena being in his boxing match is exactly the criticism he's making. This is someone that he is employing, that he's putting in the middle of a conflict he's having with somebody else. Instead of it being the, conflicts in the Middle East, it's the conflicts in this internet drama, which is even more personal. Like, obviously they have personal ties, but this is directly affecting their day-to-day life now. And like, that's just, bro.
Powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
They're just gonna twist it though, because they're like, yeah, Lena had a panic attack, but they're just gonna be like, that's because Ethan doesn't allow them to vocalize. She felt like Ian was speaking up for her. Like they're totally just gonna twist it into whatever way fits the narrative, and that's what's like so annoying.
And I'm done with the other one, the big one.
We have a title today, responding to the content cop H3 show. I might not even finish this in time.
Probably next week. My full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were
Why
being
wasn't George
sued
in
by
this
Matt
video?
Haas
Where's
or when you were being
where's
sued by
the human
Ryan
STD?
Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending.
People don't support people just because they think they're the underdog. You support the person that you think is correct. This is why you are just such a coward. Because you care about things like who's the underdog, who's the little guy in this situation, not who is the one that is like actually doing on the right side of history.
The common man.
I'm suing and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt. But you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money.
I will say the one part that was giving me a little bit like probably adding a little more stress is Hila was just hyped. And she said some things about the whole situation where she was like, put it up to a poll if we should just pay Lena off. And I felt like that was a little like, she needs to have her own autonomy in the situation to choose her thing. And I think Ethan was right in saying that because the situation isn't about her. And this shouldn't involve her, like, she shouldn't need to feel any way about this. And, like, that's the whole thing that Ian almost wants to make a point of in this video, but is making her feel, like, insanely worse about.
To bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter.
And that's a perfect point, too, that he lets them be on Twitch. He lets all of his, like, crew be like, they can stream on Twitch if they want. And that just proves again the point of you don't need to believe the same things. You just need to be able to actually vocalize it and talk about it and have your own opinions. Just vocalize your opinion. This is you having your opinion, and we're all seeing that you are a cowardly little bitch.
You're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power, you have a ton of options, you have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, Ethan's a pedophile.
Let's go, Alex.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch. And being
pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because
are these clipped out because Ethan immediately goes like, in my opinion, or Dan going like, he's not, you don't know that for sure, like they always do? Because again, we've talked about this before. That's like the That's Ethan's character. Ethan says these things that are super crazy and super out there, and then Dan reels him back in. But to show them unabashed, to act like this is the full thing, show context. Then you want to act like all these things are out of context. You're not knowing. Nobody knows the full context of things. That's not even what Ian's saying, really. Ian's just being stupid in this.
Is Dan Clancy the Nazi? Fucking anti-Semite.
Yes, this is before
things you
every
can accuse
H3
people of
stream.
that rise above.
We're
to
doing
make
it. We're doing it all the time.
Actionable, which is
Monday,
like
Wednesday,
wrongfully
Friday.
accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that.
Dan Clancy
Online.
now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off.
This is totally another Denims video. You're right. It's like when we were hearing 'cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And it's like, that is just an Ed Sheeran song. That's not Justin Bieber. You're right.
Of saying that
Oh no,
anybody
I was
has
just saying
about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his.
Well, at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Sampson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean?
I mean, Ethan's criticism has always been about Dan and Twitch as a company. It's never been about the people who are on Twitch.
Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking
Was he
about
critical, or did he just say that they are genocide supporters? Show the context, bro.
Noah on
You're showing all these pictures. Show the thumbnail. Show the title.
podcast is so fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard, I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say, but
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
you are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is
Don't
that
hit
he's
donations
asleep.
until I hit 500
Absolutely.
subs.
Noah Sampson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
That's the
Fuck
goal.
you
We need to
Noah
get to 500
Sampson,
subscribers.
Who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to,
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
he kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to.
The reason that there's an issue with this is because he's acting as if, oh, don't you see? People can have differing opinions. Yes, nobody ever said that Jews were monolithic and believe all of the same thing. That was never the point made.
I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation that I only listen to other Jewish people? You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that like agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews
that
at
it's
large
great.
view it. I don't think that is the.
What in what position are you to even say that?
It's not
Speak for my
motivated by
entire ethnic
myself.
group.
It's motivated
That's
by
crazy to me.
Jews against anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my?
I mean, honestly, just look up some statistics. Ethan's just saying that it's weird for you to be like, I don't think Jews actually believe that. That is a weird thing for Hassan to say.
Entire ethnic group. I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, like, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
It's not about the perspective that you hold. It was because you were saying that about the you were holding a claim for the perspective of Jews. Having a singular Jew make a claim doesn't help reinforce that statement anymore.
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan, on occasion...
Yeah, and maybe that was a bad way to frame that. Maybe that was, but again, that's kind of a drop in the bucket at this point.
Might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender.
Well, maybe don't frame it then as another leftist Jew who doesn't support Israel.
I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Ken.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch though.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking bitch.
Okay,
You're right.
I'm
I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think about it?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But I
So
agree.
you guys all seem to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
in consensus that
We
it's in
are.
poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating. He's not a child. He is absolutely capable of looking into Hassan, learning about his politics, interviewing.
Did you... What?
Doing loads
That
of
hit-
things
what?
to figure
That
out
hit
where
me.
he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever
We
this
tweaking.
was. This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro,
No, because like you, he wasn't as vocal about the things he believes in. It's such like a weird like thing of you just completely missing the point. You can believe whatever you want, but vocalize it, make it like apparent. That way we can have an argument on an actual fair ground instead of you just making shit up.
I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about being aware of Hassan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as...
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand.
So did Hassan not walk that back then? He still thinks that America deserved 9/11 and the people that died on that day deserved it? Is that what you're saying?
Understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hassan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are. But you
clearly didn't watch the content, Nuke, where he says that he like does like a fucking diet version of his beliefs to actually try and bring in normies and like basically brainwash them into believing what he believes. That you just clearly didn't even watch the video, so okay.
You don't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel, this is a lie that I see Hassan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never, I don't believe that that's ever been stated. And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like,
Israel just has an interesting issue that is at the perfect cross section between politics and religion, where they have like a government where a lot of it isn't based on religious doctrine, but you can tell that the believer, like the people in it, are uplifting that ideology, and then that creates radicalism, because any type of like religious extremist is obviously going to cause like detriment to certain groups.
I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. If that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me.
Yep, that's what it was. It was just a place for Jews to go after it was cleared by the British after World War II, and then, after the UN said that they could lay a claim in Israel, and they did do, a terrible thing when they were pushing out the, Palestinian people that were there before. But we could go. The thing is like, if you want to go back historically, are we going to talk about how the Romans kicked out the Israelis, and then, or the Jewish people of the land of Israel, and then fucking called them the Philistines and called it Palestina or whatever because of the coastal people in Gaza and shit at the time? It's so ridiculous, the amount of like stretching people want to do with like the narratives. Like we don't have the context. We are not equipped to have like this conversation because we are not historians.
Like, all right.
I don't think that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like, he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say.
Then what is the claim? The claim would be that Israel is saying that they are the voice of Judaism. And so if that's not what they're saying, then what is the point being made?
That their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. Like you got like a white guy's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like that is a word that's used. Habibi, it means my love. Oh, okay. No, don't do that, Habibi. Oh, yes, Habibi. Mm-hmm. You're my Habibi, yes. I'm your Habibi.
Make your point.
So yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it.
Where does the issue draw?
They have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier
And honestly, if we just use his own analogy, if this was a who can say the N-word like tier list, and at the bottom it said like, loves tuna or something, loves tuna sandwiches, that would still technically be racist. Even if it's not that bad, it's still technically racist. So it's kind of like a stupid argument to even make.
List is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hassan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
We can't put this as an F. Cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
Pale face motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hassan feel as though they're...
The difference is using the words versus putting faces on the, like, what?
White guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Can you understand
Nah, he doesn't want to be white. That's why he says it like that.
why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hassan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they dropped the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi. And then it's like, Hassan, okay, actually, he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel.
So is everybody just going to be an Arab then? What does it mean to be Arab coded then? What does it mean to be asks perms? What does it mean? Like,
Israel. Again, people underestimate just how.
and I know they explained it, but it's just like, who bro? You're missing the point.
Is like,
we say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of America.
No, you just missed the point. If they say Habibi in Israel, then why would Ethan be on the bottom? If he lived in Israel, how many of these people have actually lived in their country of origin? How many of them are just, Papa Gut coined this term, how many of them are just Middle Westerns? Middle Westerners. It's like, it's just so dumb.
Americans, and Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just going to eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra.
Oh, and he doesn't even show the Zionist clip from Denim's. Amazing.
Because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And that.
Well, I haven't heard anyone actually say what a good brand of hummus is then. Just homemade? Just making it yourself? Yeah, no shit. But you're saying it yourself that you like it. I just go get it. Of course it's not the good shit, but I get it. Yeah, because it's good. Why does that mean you can't say Habibi because you like Sabra? You like Sabra? Why? You just said Habibi before. Why can you say it?
That sucks that that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the U.S. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on.
Ended up getting flipped in like a day, didn't they all? Like end up getting flipped like super quick.
To talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody wants to prefer Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is
Sabra.
fluffy.
Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
Why don't you show all the clips where they're like, I like it? What about when Dan was like, I actually like it. That's the one I get.
For some reason, like when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. Imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all
Yeah, you can, but that's not what happened.
Related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other culture.
Again, context matters. He was explaining what Elon was doing. Does that make it like bad because he did it? Again, this is like my analogy for like using stuff in the courtroom. It's just like stupid. Certain things are more like bad than others, but like doing a Nazi salute when showing what someone did, I don't think is as bad as doing the Nazi salute yourself.
Embracing their own culture and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where They were reacting to Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a
Right.
good apology. I'm the
Right,
best at
10
it.
out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best apology, so. Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my God.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying, and you know.
This is basically when he did the documentary on Sam Hyde, trying to like do like a troll on him, and then the troll failing. I can already tell this isn't gonna work. If the dude's like any type of like has any type of credibility to his name, he's not just gonna change it because you ask. He gave his genuine opinion on the fucking apology.
We might learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, iDubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize.
Notice how he says that too. From the selective clips that you showed me, I know he didn't say selective, but it's like he's clearly like saying like, bro, if this is really what you're trying to do, I can tell that this is like kind of starting from a place of like of my own concern, because I'm like, what is happening here?
And I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay. Because it's the internet, anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in
Just a random guess, probably didn't even watch it.
Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very...
See, Ian, but that's the thing, is you're starting from points of fucking like delusion, you know what I mean? You're starting from non-starters. You're thinking and you're trying to weave a web around this idea that you've already created. You're not coming to a conclusion. You're starting with the conclusion.
Very important to me.
Nobody else is doing that.
Back content.
Well, some people are doing that, and those are the people you've aligned yourself with. But most of the time, like, people are making up their own opinions.
Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous content cops that I think should have been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other
the condescension
feelings.
Oh,
in the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like.
Stop trying to act altruistic when you fucking made a video. In the beginning, you're fucking dancing around a room going, wake up, this is a nightmare, it's not a dream anymore. Like, what are you talking about? This was clearly from your own place of sorrow, your own internal dilemmas that you were having, where you felt like you were getting bitched on and you needed to stand up for yourself because you were tired of letting everybody walk all over you all the time. Well, you did it the wrong way, buddy, and you just showed how much of a floor mat you really are.
Like Ethan could just use a hug. I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why.
Is that why you think that CPS should be called on its own?
Your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began to...
Bro, like, who the fuck even are you, dog? We know you thought if you killed Destiny, we would have socialism right now. You're just dumb, bro. That was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. One person, like, if you think that, then when they killed Marx, then it should have ended. That was it. That was the death of fucking Marxism and socialism, bro.
This journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being...
He looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid. His head is very oddly shaped. You like when he's being funny, when he's making little jokes.
Lighthearted and just having fun with your friends. I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the...
I'm going to read a letter I wrote because I don't want to sound robotic. I can't speak from the heart because I don't actually care about this at all. So I just wrote what I think would probably be the best thing to say in this situation.
Force for Good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think
that's all he has to say. I like his hair. His haircut looks good. He picked good facial hair.
It's really cool what he did 8 years ago fighting.
It's really cool what he did, but all of this is so backhanded, and you expect us to take this as like, oh, we just care. All we do is we're just pointing out stuff because we care about you.
That frivolous lawsuit, that was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better, and I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like, if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up, a feeling of almost infallibility.
Again, another clip from like fucking 7 to 8 years ago. This whole thing was so dumb.
Take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes. And then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
The crying did get me, man. I'm just so lost in this. This was an hour-long video of just him bitching and telling Ethan to roll over. That's all it was. He told Ethan in so many ways, hey bro, just roll over and you'll be so much happier if you just let people talk shit about you and you just buckle down and go, oh, I'm so sorry, please take me back. Like, you're such a fucking coward, bro. Actually insane. And yes, this ratio is looking pretty good. It's clearly getting brigaded. I don't know if on both ends, but it's not even close to this on the... And just one more time to illustrate the difference in the criticism on Ethan versus the criticism on Hassan. Hassan Piker specifically. Hassan Piker. All Hassan videos, Hassan Piker exposes the real reason why him and Ethan Klein have beef. Hassan, him talking, his videos, him on Theo Vaughn. Okay. Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein. iDubbbz Content Cop, Ethan Klein channel. Oh, this talking Hassan's video, Adam McIntyre, and then like nothing. All this stuff about iDubbbz, Twitter versus Ethan, like all these people that are making different videos. And we got Papa Gut all the way down here. Get them up, folks. But it's just so stupid that you want to act like it isn't real. You want to act like there isn't at least some coordinated effort in these fan bases that need to be like stopped by the people that are at the head of them. It's so dumb. He could have done an entire nice video where he was like, hey, what y'all doing harassing Ethan and CPS bad, but also here's a valid criticism instead of he did the sack of shit. Literally, like he could have said, here's the thing. There are some criticisms of Ethan. Basically, if he wanted to make this video and pull it back maybe like 70 to 80%.
Actually,
there were probably a few things in here he could have made actual points on, but he used super old clips as if they were recent. He was talking about things that didn't make any sense, and within the first 5 minutes, he lied and acted as if Ethan has no idea about what's happening in Israel and Palestine. When I showed you that clip in the beginning of them on the podcast in 2017 talking about their perspective, which hasn't changed. It is absolutely insane the way that this is framed. Like I don't get it. I don't get how he made this. I don't know if he maybe didn't write it, didn't edit it, didn't like proofread it or what, and he just sat at a fucking screen and was like, Ethan Klein, the world's like it's just so insane. The CTE really has gotten to him. Like, was it rushed? Has he not been working on this? Didn't he tell? So I saw a video or a comment where someone had said he had told Ethan he was working on a content cop or was working on a video on the last time he was on the stream. So maybe this was the video he was working on or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if that's the truth. Oh, let me see what the description says. Thank you for watching the H3 Content Cop Patreon. Thanks for the creators who helped put this together. They said help put it together, so that means that they helped source it at the very least. Cause like that, yeah. So that's Matt Lieb. So that's all of them. Yeah. So like they probably helped source stuff and just gave him all the out of context clips for Ian to go, oh my god, oh my goodness. No, literally. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he only started on it like a month ago. Sorry, this really has taken my brain cells away. I'm waiting for the show to start. I'm like, what happened, guys? Wake up. We have war to go to. We have a battle, and we didn't know that we were being flanked from. There's crossfire. We're getting caught in the middle. It's just genuinely inspirational. What should I look at now while we have some time? Ooh, I wanted to play the game. Wait one sec. H3lore.com. I saw they pulled this up. Where's the game? Game. This is what we love to see. If that's really when they started, that just shows how like pointless it all was. Because if they started on it a month ago, you could have just made a simple video saying, "Hey, bro, I don't need to talk about anything. Everything you said is dumb." Oh no, yeah. No, trust me, I could probably have made this video in like an afternoon. The writing for it was absolutely garbage. It's just a lot of like just nothing. It's just literally a lot of nothing. War zone. Damn, we're really 26 minutes late. What's going on, guys? What have we done wrong? But here we go. We're gonna play this game. Let me know if you guys know what it is. It had to be when Ethan called them out. I was trying to catch if it was actually on his phone or if he green screened it on really well, and I think it was on his phone, and I'm just like, I have a little bit of a manic state sometimes trying to analyze videos. You don't know how many times I look at a video and think it's AI. So this is Guess the Episode. Come on, come one, come all, and guess the H3 episode. The first 3 guesses will provide a hint. No peeking.
Following up on another story from last week, y'all may remember the story of how Ian ruined my fucking life with a Sharky's gift card.
I mean, can I just look up Eric from Comment Etiquette? I'm gonna guess this is the first one. Or no, this is the second one. Or no. This makes it so much harder because they're just like all the same thing. We're gonna guess this is the second appearance. What do you think? This game is tough. It's both tough, like difficult, and it's tough. This should go hard. Sorry, I'm doing one thing. Second one, let's do it. Submit. Wrong. God, is this really the first one? There's no way. Or was this the one with the Colin with the Cougar champ? Man, this is really hard. It's even harder when they have repeat guests. Like that just makes it like even like 10 times more difficult. I'm gonna guess Cougar champ won. No, is it really the first one? Because they were all in this old set. I don't think they've ever been in like the newer set. I'll go to this late one then, since that's our kind of like thinking right now. Is it really? If it's really this first one, I'm gonna go crazy. It's the last one. It was literally the last one I clicked. It's this one.
Like a pituitary.
Wait, what? How did I get that one wrong? Was it not called Jack and Eric? I'm so confused by that. Now this is even harder.
Maybe that's hard to
use these as a way to figure it out. You just have to sit through it.
Breast cancer and
Can't say this.
True. I forgot Eric used to come on just some. I completely forgot how. See, honestly, seeing Eric in that many episodes, I was confused. I don't even remember him being in that many.
This button.
Do we get it? Yeah.
We go back 20 seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. He calls it that. I never use that word.
C word.
You can say C word.
It's just for some reason YouTube
Wait, who is
categorized
that?
as like
I can't imagine.
hateful.
Oh wait, that's Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings. But which one of Whitney Cummings is it? None of these say After Dark. God damn it. They make this like impossible. Oh, now this is crazy. We're 30 minutes late. Really? Am I blocking it? No, I'm not. Okay. Really? Did that look good? Man. Which one is it though? Give me a good guess. The bottom one? After Dark 120. Oh, this one does say After Dark. I'm so dumb. You're so smart. Thank you. You're so smart.
I think was when we were
I need to
talking
just
about
read.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
I think so. I think I was upstairs screening calls and I had a lot to say. So I had to put it down.
So I'd gotten this with the intention of you having some company in your shot from now on. But since you're not going to be here, this might have to live in love shot for now.
I'm okay with that. If Love's okay with that.
Yeah, for a while, maybe.
Yeah.
An episode or so.
An episode or a few.
The one day that we didn't do a poll is the one day when they're like super late. That's like the part that sucks. Is this, yeah, the Christmas special? Should I just look up Christmas? Or Xmas? No? Oh no. No, that's the Leftovers one. Craigsmas. Did they really change it? What? This has got me really confused now.
Maybe we set up a marriage,
Give it a sec.
kind of like
mean,
Trisha
I don't
did,
know.
married to the Pete David.
I mean, we'd have to like watch it all the way through because they'd have to get to like another segment. Because if they're just doing the Craigsmas here. Oh no. Here, we'll just do this. Misc 11 Catalyst trailer. What does this even mean? Some of these are just like, what even are these? Just let it play, I guess. Amazing.
Pete Davidson? Pete Davidson? What's
Pete
his
Davidson.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize they give you these hints.
Set up a marriage, maybe.
Can I look up after
Yeah.
dark?
Not wait to
Oh, you
meet
can.
him.
What are your thoughts on him dating Kim, bud?
Nope.
You have barely said anything to me, but I got to tell you something. You're also ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. Are a lot of these just button moments? I'm so confused.
Cool thing going on.
Oh.
No laughter. I hit the button.
The button's becoming. My joke fell flat, so I need to.
It's definitely after dark.
No,
I know that
but
for
it
sure.
was-
The
no,
last
that's
like
not true.
3 instances.
I got to be here for a true button moment.
That's not true. It was.
It was.
This game is way too difficult. So scummy to use the button.
It's not even that bad. I'm
Actually hateful. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give a little shout out to Alex, who's been dropping the content. It's been coming. If you guys haven't seen, there's an iceberg. I don't know why I was looking down. If you guys haven't seen the iceberg yet, please go check it out. Look, that's me. That's me. I'm on my own part because I'm a narcissist. I'm obsessed with myself. But yes, go check it out. So many great people on here. And a great video, giving a little bit of love. I wanted to see your newest video though. Did you end up getting the high score?
We know that finding high-quality foods you can trust can be challenging. That's why
Oh.
Go Macro.
Hello, my friends.
Well, go check out Alex and go check out the podcast. It's happening now. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back again on Monday to do another H3 waiting room. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for. So be ready for it. And yes, this is Captain Quasar signing off.